On October 27, 2018, a gunman rushed into Pittsburgh's Tree of Life synagogue during Shabbat morning services. He shouted, "All Jews must die!" then proceeded to murder 11 Jewish worshippers, injuring 7 more. Why was this man so desperate to kill Jews? Why was he willing to risk everything, his family, his freedom, his life, just so he could kill a few Jewish people? To understand this, we first need to understand, what is a Jew? Why is being a Jew even important? Let's take a journey back, all the way to the beginning of human existence, which Judaism teaches originated with God. Why did God create the world anyway? Wouldn't it be simpler if nothing existed? No wars, no poverty, no disease, no politics, no abuse, no evil. Sounds like a dream. But here's the thing. Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto was a renowned 18th century Jewish philosopher and scholar. Based on his study of the Bible, he asserts that God is the source of all goodness, pleasure, and happiness in the world. God wanted to share this complete and unadulterated pleasure, but there was no one to share it with, so he created human beings. How does he share this pleasure with humans? By connecting them to the source of all goodness, God Himself. Here are some really godly things you can do with your life. God told us, take care of the vulnerable, respect your parents, overcome powerful animalistic instincts, and lots more. When you do these godly things, you will connect yourself to incredible joy. But when things come too easy, it takes away all the pleasure and feels shameful and degrading. You can only fully enjoy something if you earned it. God wanted us to experience pure pleasure, not a cheap knockoff version that's diluted by shame. So He put each of our souls into a custom-made body, in a custom-made family, in a custom-made community for a relatively short amount of time, just 70, 80, 90 years. During this time, we were given a life of custom-made choices, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every time we make a choice that emulates God, we access perfection and connection. Every time we make a choice that disregards godliness, we distance and detach ourselves from God. It's like our soul is a magnet, and God, the ultimate good, is the central magnetic force. Every good choice we make strengthens the magnetic force. Every bad choice weakens the magnetic force. The stronger the force, the more connected we'll be to the greatest source of pleasure and happiness, our Creator. But how do I know what's a good or bad choice? I barely know anything about magnets. How am I supposed to know about my human soul? So God gave us a guidebook, which tells us in every situation in our lives what increases attraction and what takes it away. It's called the Torah, and it was given on Mount Sinai, eyewitnessed by millions of people live, and passed generation to generation without being changed or altered. For example, what's the right way to interact with yourself, your spouse, your kids, your parents, or just about anyone else? What choices should you make in business or in your career? What is the best way to raise your kids? How do you have a happy, satisfying marriage? What food is good for your soul and what food is not? What's the formula for true happiness? It's all in that guidebook, ready for us to learn from it and thrive. And what's so unique about the Torah is that it's not only a guide to get you close to God after you die, it's also a source of living a meaningful and happy life till you get there. Going back to our question, why was this man in Pittsburgh so desperate to kill Jews? Why was he, and thousands like him, for the past 3 millennia, determined to destroy their lives just so they could have the satisfaction of killing a Jew? There is one reason: because evil cannot tolerate good. Remember we talked about earning our connection to God, the source of godliness and pleasure, instead of getting it too easily? So in order to do that, God created people places, and ideas where his goodness and pleasure are hidden. That is what we call evil. Evil manifests itself in our lives as the temptation to do the opposite of what is good. Evil is there to make it hard for us so we can battle it and earn our keep. But evil people do not want good to prevail. Evil people want to snuff out good in all forms, and the Jews, a stubborn nation that represents a focused quest for godliness, is a great target. Adolf Hitler said it himself, "Conscience is a Jewish invention. It is a blemish like circumcision." The Jews are the world's conscience, and evil people don't want to have to deal with a conscience. Instead of bringing goodness into the world, people like the Pittsburgh shooter and Adolf Hitler chose to bring evil into the world and fight off the goodness the rest of us bring. People who have chosen the path of evil want to extinguish those who represent the light. It irritates them. Hitler couldn't stand it and openly admitted to wanting to eradicate the moral conscience of the world. Goodness and evil cannot coexist. But in a fascinating way, this ability to choose evil is the only thing that makes goodness, light, and ultimately pleasure even possible. The more we own the light, our identity, our heritage, our godliness, the less power evil will have in our world. Now is the time. Let's own who we really are and what we were put on this world to accomplish. Thanks for watching. I'm Ozzie Burnham. We're on a mission to connect with Jews like you across the world and answer any questions about Judaism. If you have any questions on Judaism you want answered, feel free to email us at ask@mygewishquestion.com. That's it for now. Hope you learned something.